Lian.
Hi guys. Hello? Hello? Okay. Hello? Okay. Okay. I was wondering if any of you guys here have ever wished that the universe revolved around you and that everything just went perfectly your way. And this, everyone should be saying yes. And if I hear a no, that means your life would be perfect. Like, can we just switch our lives? But there are so many students out here right now who have upcoming exams. We have final exams coming up, and we are all worried about that. If you already aren't, you should be. And then seniors like me who still have not committed to a college. But these are just low level of stresses that can't compare to those who are crying out and begging for their lives. Now, let me give you a scenario. I want you to put yourself in the shoe of a person working for the military, okay? Your job is to manufacture and construct weapons that would be used in warfare. First of all, let me just say, in the US, you get all these benefits for working in the military. You get paid vacations, you get medical insurance, life insurance, all the discounts to your favorite stores. Imagine that type of luxury. Well, here's the twist. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves because the government starts killing everyone. Oh no. And it's the military. They can just kill anyone, no? That's kind of their job. But no, because you have to question who they're actually killing. Who are the people that are begging and crying out for their lives because they are being killed by the government who is ruling them? The answer to that question is the people of their own country. So we all know what this is. This is genocide. And as defined by the Oxford English Dictionary, genocide is actually the deliberate killing of a certain group of people with the aim of destroying them. We all know what genocide is, but genocide can have many ripple effects and consequences that we don't talk about enough. Now, a publication by the United States Institute of Peace by Yimyo Hain, a visiting senior expert, and Billy Ford, a program officer in Burma, wrote about the current situation in Burma. They said that Burmese soldiers must start acting because their lives are being held at gunpoint. This basically means once the benefits are all gone, they can no longer work for the benefits and reap off those benefits of the government. But if they were to rebel, they would start dying. But if they were to continue supporting the government, then their brothers would be killed. Now let's talk about fratricide. Fratricide is the most overlooked consequence of genocide. This is the act of killing one's own brother. That's killing your own family member. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not just a scenario or a story I've put together. Rather, this is based on a true story of a Burmese soldier who recently just escaped. Now let me walk you through the history of Burma, starting with 1948 when they gained their independence from Great Britain. U was the first prime minister since the independence. His government was extremely struggling due to corruption, political instability, and ethnic conflicts. During the late 1950s, Burma started falling apart due to communist insurgents and ethnic rebels that fought the government, even to the point where UNU's government and political party started falling apart. This party was called the Anti-Fascist People's Freedom League. So in order to restore power, in 1960, UNU temporarily handed his power to the general at the time, named General Lian. General Lian promised to fix the chaos, but he approached this with oppression, much like a communist government. Basically going back to what the Burmese people were fighting against. And surprisingly, in 1960, General Lian held an election where UNU was placed back into power. However, shortly after, on March 2, 1962, the military seized power according to General Lian's orders. Soldiers went into and stormed into presidential palaces, government offices, and radio stations, arresting UNU and his ministers without resistance. The soldiers claimed to do this in order to, quote unquote, prevent the disintegration of the country. But was it really for that? If dozens and dozens of people were being killed. On July 7, 1962, the military blew up the Rangoon University Student Union building because students were protesting and fighting for their lives. This was the first of the biggest genocide in Burma since their independence. This was the symbol of their resistance. And from that moment on to this day, Myanmar is still facing the effects and consequences of this particular moment. And the government promised these three things. To restore peace by holding a free and fair election. Was it really free? They promised to restore security by safeguarding the national unity, and they also promised to restore the stability by creating a strong centralized government. But were they truly keeping these promises if many and dozens of people were being killed and protests were met with mass violence and mass arrests? Now let me take you a little bit more to the present. To 1988, there came the Lady of Burma. She was the symbol of peace, the symbol of democracy, and the symbol of freedom. Her name is Aung San Suu Kyi. She had an English husband and 2 sons at the time. She had a sick mother, so she fled to her homeland to tend her sick mother. And after living through the military dictatorship for a while, she could not stay still. So, she stood up against the military like no one else had done, and she founded the National League of Democracy. The military soon saw her as a threat to the government that they were trying to form. So, they overthrew her government and then placed her on house arrest. And here's the interesting part. This Lady of Burma is actually so cool because she won a Nobel Peace Prize during this house arrest. I mean, can you name anyone else who has? But on 2015, her party won a historical election where she became the de facto leader of Myanmar because the Constitution didn't allow her from assuming the title of president. On 2017, however, another military crackdown occurred where the government, the military, once again overthrew and launched a coup. A brutal crackdown on the Muslim Rohingya minority occurred. Many people were killed because of this. However, at this moment, Suu Kyi was silent. Many people questioned if she really upheld the title of being the Lady of Burma. She was supposed to be the symbol of peace, the symbol of freedom, the symbol of democracy. But that all crippled down because at this moment, she stayed silent. The woman who was once called a saint was now accused of complicity in genocide. Now, on February 1, 2021, another military coup occurred. This is the most recent coup that has still been ongoing to this day. Because of this coup, many people within one ethnic group, within one village, are in support of multiple parties. One village is not identified by just one party. One village is identified by multiple parties, all fighting for the same one thing. That one thing was democracy. That one thing was freedom, just in different forms. And because of this, many people are dying. Brothers are killing one another. Ethnics are killing one another. This is what we call fragicide. This is what we don't talk about enough. Now, like Suji, this is not about politics. This is about the power of endurance, the strength of conviction, and the courage to choose principle over comfort. Because she reminds us that no matter how small one may seem, they can stand up against systems built on fear. Her journey teaches us that leadership is not about being perfect, nor is it about perfection. Rather, it's about having the courage to rise over and over again and again, and that is something we all can carry with us. So, I want you, again, to place yourself in the shoe of those Burmese soldiers. Now, what would you choose? Are you going to choose your family and the people of your country with a gun being held at your head? Or would you choose to reap off the benefits of the government and continue to support the military while watching your brothers die? The time to choose is now. And so the government made all these promises. However, we can turn our promises into actions. Let's do something that those Burmese civilians could not do. Let's stand up against the systems that have been built upon fear. The most simple way to do this is by just educating yourself. Educate yourself so that you can spread awareness, and in the future, you can even further educate other people. So, never again, let's not allow genocide to occur. Let's not watch these sons, these daughters die right in front of our eyes. Let's protect humanity. And let's never again, let's turn these promises into actions, because everyone's voice matters, and actions speak louder than words. Thank you.